24/7 Fusion Media.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And I just came across this article from comicbookmovie.com, which says, Queer and Challengers director Luca Guadagnino reportedly set to helm Sgt.Rock movie for DC Studios. Now, you know, if you haven't heard of Sgt.Rock, you're not really familiar with him. He's a badass war hero over in World War II. And he's had a string of live-ass comic books. As of lately, the last thing that I've seen done on him was when Bruce Campbell did Sgt.Rock versus the Army of the Dead. So that lets you know that Sgt.Rock is a very well-respected comic book hero. But the thing is, he's not that well known. So let's just see what's going on here. It says, Luca Guadagnino from Challengers, Call Me By Your Name, and Suspira may not seem like the most obvious fit to helm a comic book superhero movie, but the filmmaker is believed to be in talks with DC Studios to direct an upcoming DCU project. You'd be surprised what kind of directors would do one totally different thing. You never know what may happen when you get a director switching genres, how well they'll do or how well they'll fail. Jeff Snyder first mentioned that Guadagnino, whose latest film Queer is screening at the Venice Film Festival, was being courted for a future DCU project in his newsletter, and Nexus Point News later weighed in, claiming to reveal the project he's in talks to direct. According to the site, Guadagnino is set to helm a Sgt.Rock movie, and his Challengers and Queer collaborator Justin Kuritzkes is on board to pen the script. The project is set to be a period piece set during World War II, which is probably where he should be, because I remember there was an article about Sgt.Rock being in the future. And the first thing I thought was like, Lord, please don't do that to him, you know, because it'll be just as bad as what DC did to Jonah Hex. So what it's saying here is we've been hearing whispers of a potential Sgt.Rock movie for quite a while, and the attempts to get a film based on the character off the ground go all the way back to the late 1980s when Arnold Schwarzenegger was briefly attached to play the lead. Bruce Willis was also said to be in talks to play Rock in a movie helmed by Guy Ritchie back in 2008. Wow. That's over 15 years ago. That's crazy. Producer Joe Silva revealed that this take on the property was going to be set in the future during a 2010 interview with the LA Times. So Joe Silver says it takes place a little bit in the future as a war movie. It's not going to be where it's been, it's going to be where it's going. We don't want to do Iraq, we don't want to do a contemporary war. We wanted to do a sort of futuristic war. It's pretty strong. Chad St. John wrote the script, and we've got Francis Lawrence involved in developing it with us. It's not a go movie yet, but I'm feeling good about it. So this was said in 2010, and this actually confirms what I heard about him fighting in the future. I didn't know the people that were attached to it, but to let you know, if that would have taken place, even with Bruce Willis being the star of the movie, that movie would have completely failed. It's kind of like on the same level of having Josh Brolin playing Jonah Hex. But what fucked that movie up was when they made Jonah Hex have this supernatural power, which totally goes against everything that the character's about, because he's simply just a gunslinger that's been through a lot of shit, survived a lot of shit, and kicked a lot of ass. So to have done Sgt.Rock the exact same way would have fucked up that character in the comic book movie industry. The same way right now, Jonah Hex only had that one shot. He'll never get it again. The same would have been done for Sgt.Rock. Sgt.Rock Franklin was created by Robert Kanigher and Joe Kubert, debuting in the pages of Our Army at War, issue number 83 back in 1959. Sgt. Rock was a member of the Easy Company, a unit that fought in the European theater during World War II and consisted of a disparate group of individuals who managed to participate in every major action in the European War. So at this point, we have Guadagnino, who is being courted by DC Studios, James Gunn and Company, to helm a DC project, and it looks like it's pointing towards Sgt. Rock. To be honest, I think Sgt. Rock would be a hell of a good movie to do if they only stick to what works with Sgt. Rock. That's keeping him in World War II and having him take a page out of Saving Private Ryan, The Band of Brothers, and The Pacific. If you kind of stick to those tropes and basically buckle Sgt. Rock down for him to do what he does best and actually putting out a fucking war movie without it having any kind of superhero tropes in it, then I think DC would have something special, and it would actually let people know that, hey, DC Films, DC Studios, Warner Brothers, James Gunn, and the whole DCU can do a different kind of superhero that doesn't have to have a cape, that doesn't have to have a power ring, that doesn't have to have all these contraptions in order to be successful, and doesn't need a particular supervillain to have something that this hero needs to go against. If you stick to the storyline of who Sgt. Rock really is, he's a World War II soldier who's trying to keep himself and his team alive fighting during World War II. And if they keep to that, have him fighting Nazis, kicking ass all the way to the top, then I think this movie will be successful. If they try to do anything else different and try to throw in that, oh, he came across a power ring, or that he met Thomas Wayne before he fucking fought in the war, and all this extra dumb shit that doesn't need to be in there to try to pull in the rest of the DCU into a World War II movie, then that's when James Gunn and DC Studios and the DCU will fucking fail at this movie if they do decide to go that route. This needs to be a war movie strictly, and if they need to get any kind of help from Steven Spielberg or Tom Hanks, then that's what he needs to do. Because I'm gonna tell you this, James Gunn and Company cannot write a fucking war movie. That's not their thing. They haven't done it. They're not masters of that shit. And if they need help, they need to fucking pull it from the right places to make this movie successful. But that's my take. That's how I feel. You guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Are you interested in a Sgt. Rock movie? Do you think Guadagnino would be a great director after he's directed this queer movie? Do you think he'd be a perfect fit for Sgt. Rock? Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And as always, it's your boy 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media, and I'm out. Peace.